YouTube, what the crap's going on? This is Sparta. Well, actually it looks like Nemedicina, but hey, Sparta's where the heart is, right? Welcome back to Rome 2. We're going to be watching a tournament battle here. And we've got Sparta over here that's rocking, I think, 4 Tarentine cavalry. 1 Perioikoi Peltast. I just gotta love Peltast after the last battle we had. There's 4 Gorgo skirmishers. A main line of Spartan hoplites with a Royal Spartan in the center. It looks like there's a Heroes of Sparta mixed in there too. So 2 Heroes of Sparta, 1 Royal Spartan, a Perioikoi spear on each flank. They're up against the Nervii, who are going to have some pretty serious sword power in the form of Oathsworn. And there's definitely going to be some of those. Fierce Swords are a very hard hitting unit, but kind of a glass cannon due to their low armor. So you've got on this flank Spear Brothers, which is a pretty nice anti-cavalry unit. Mighty Horse, good medium cavalry. In fact, a very good medium cavalry. Oathsworn, 2 Levy MLG Freemen up front. Spear Brothers, Oathsworn, Fierce Swords, so the flanks are equivalent. It looks like there are 3 Celtic Slingers in the center, 2 more Mighty Horse, a Spear Brother backing up an Oathsworn, and 2 Mercenary Germanic Scout Riders. Mercenary Germanic Scout Riders are decent in melee, very light cavalry, but extremely fast, and very nice javelin damage that they're going to do. So let's see how this plays out. Honestly, I think the infantry advantage is in favor of Sparta. There's not a ton of infantry for the Nervii, really. I mean, you got 3 Oathsworn that are meant to do most of the heavy hitting. There's 2 Fierce Swords, but yeah, not a lot of infantry here. So we'll see how this plays out, because getting rid of a Royal Spartan is not going to be easy for the Nervii. It's going to require an Oathsworn for sure. These guys would chew through Fierce Swords. And then the Hero of Sparta is similar. It's going to be very tough. And then you got the Tarentine cavalry, which is a little bit heavier than the Germanic horse. It would probably skirmish with them fairly well, but the Germanic horse is going to be faster. Spear Brothers, though, are very nice anti-cavalry units. If they could get some javelins into the back of infantry, they can be useful there, but otherwise they're not going to be fantastic versus infantry. Celtic Slingers are going to lose out hard to 4 Gorgo skirmishers, and then this 1 Perioikoi Peltast is an interesting pick. Maybe for anti-cavalry purposes. If Peltasts get enough time to fire, they can do a lot of anti-cav work. See here, the Tarentine cavalry going to open up some skirmishing, being supported by Perioikoi spears. So Sparta pushing back 1 flank because the overview here is showing you that you've got the Nervii player trying to kind of form a crescent shape and work an overall encirclement, but the Spartan player trying to fight out of that encirclement. Here, though, a Tarentine cavalry getting crazy close. No javelins out of the Spear Brothers, though, which is pretty miraculous for the Tarentine cavalry. The Gorgo skirmishers are going to start punishing the Spear Brothers over here. Alright, so let's see what happened. A little bit of a skirmishy developing phase here. Perioikoi spears going into a square here. I guess just to protect the Gorgo skirmisher. The Gorgos are kind of chipping away at the Oathsworn. That's actually not a bad idea. They won't kill a lot of them right now. Look at this. The spearmen just run right past and are going for the Gorgo skirmishers. But now it looks like the Spear Brothers are going to be forced to turn around. There's a Tarentine cavalry out here. The Fierce Swords just crush this Perioikoi spear very quickly. But there are a lot of javelins around. They have to be careful. And the Spear Brothers is being used to chase back the Tarentine cavalry. And here this Spartan hoplite, is it going to get rear charged? No, it pulls back, and then they're going to... Look at this. This is a nice bait and switch to take away the charge of the Oathsworn. But the Oathsworn just delivers a punishing javelin volley right into the flank of the Heroes of Sparta, and it's still going to get there. So the Oathsworn's in combat. The Fierce Sword's coming around the flank. Sparta now has kind of gone a little bit collapsed on this flank here, and it's starting to devolve a little bit for him. This Oathsworn should be racking up kills. It is. It's getting some work done, mostly against the Perioikoi spears, but now a Royal Spartan being sent in to reinforce. The Oathsworn's going to be forced to retreat. But this flank over here, like I said, just kind of disintegrating for the Spartans, and there's now a fairly sizable gap here, too, for the Nervii to try and work, which leaves the center somewhat exposed. And if this Oathsworn gets reinforcement from the other Oathsworn, they will have the power to punch through the front of this Spartan line. The Fierce Swords over here cleaning up more Perioikoi Spears. This is a perfect target for them, and they are getting massive kills. The heavier heroes of Sparta that are coming in, they're definitely not going to want to deal with that. You can see the Mighty Horse here trying to use some of their speed and agility. The Tarentine Cavalry, excellent sacrifice here to save the Gorgos Skirmishers. I would expect we might see more of the same because this Mighty Horse has got some juicy targets in its sight. Yep, more Tarentine Cavalry coming to get in the way, but now if this little group comes around the edge, Germanic Horsemen, I do believe, would actually do fairly well in combat versus the Tarentine Cavalry, though I could be wrong. These heroes of Sparta are taking a beating. The Slingers almost look like they're doing more damage to the Oathsworn than anything else. This Spartan Hoplite is going to get absolutely flattened by an Oathsworn on the charge, and it's going to retreat. But there's a Mighty Horse back here, so I don't know where it's going to retreat to. The Gorgos Skirmishers are still alive. The Tarentine Cavalry has done a good job of trying to protect them, even though it's a much lighter, non-melee focused cavalry. These Germanic Scout Riders are going to do great in here versus these Gorgos Skirmishers. They have just enough melee stats to be very dangerous at this type of thing. You can see here they're throwing in more javelins. I'd kind of like to see them attack these units. There it comes. So the Germanic Scout Riders are going to make themselves extremely effective here. The Mighty Horse has done a great job tearing down Tarentine Cavalry, but it is now engaged by a Perioikoi Spear. The General Oathsworn unit is engaged with Spartan Hoplites, and Heroes of Sparta being outflanked by a Royal Spartan. And the Oathsworn here is going to come back for another charge against the Heroes of Sparta, who are sitting still in a Hoplite wall. Oathsworn tearing apart a Spartan Hoplite, so it's actually looking pretty good for Nervii at the moment. With the Gorgos Skirmishers going down, that's going to take a significant killing power away from the Spartans. It was a significant advantage, and I like the way the Nervii worked their cavalry advantage here, because they had spent so very little on infantry, and they made their infantry count, though. Look, 75 kills on that Fierce Sword. There's another Fierce Sword that is probably already routed at this point, but it got a ton of kills. We'll see it on the in-battle screen. Look at these Germanic Scout Riders slaughtering Gorgos Skirmishers. Germanic Scout Riders are an excellent cavalry. They're kind of what I wished that Numidian cavalry would have been in this game. But I always wish for that, but poor Carthage. This Oathsworn is getting a lot of kills, but it's in a tough fight here against a Royal Spartan and a Hero of Sparta. That is not a lightweight fight. So it's doing very well, all things considered. This Fierce Sword should do okay versus the Spartan Hoplites, if it's not too tired. They're going into a pretty defensive formation there, though, so there's still quite a few Spartan units left, and if the Spartan player can tear down the Oathsworn enough, it's possible that the Nervii player won't have enough hitting power to do any good. The Mighty Horse tearing down a Tarentine Cavalry back here. Germanic Scout Riders cleaning up Gorgos Skirmishers, some Spear Brothers fighting down Perioikoi Spears, and over here Spear Brothers actually catching a Tarentine Cavalry that is not being microed away. At this point, the Royal Spartan's starting to go down pretty quick, and if the Spartan General eats it, it's going to be pretty bad for Sparta. There's another Heroes of Sparta coming in here, and it's pretty healthy. 67 kills on the Royal Spartans, by the way. This Mighty Horse over here. Rear charges aren't going to do a lot. Maybe it's just going to allow the Oathsworn General to cycle charge or to get away alive. Slingers are going to do some more friendly fire, but they're also doing damage to the Spartans, and the Spartans really can't afford a war of attrition right now. 131 kills on the Fierce Sword, so both Fierce Sword units being pretty deadly in this battle. Let's go check out the last stand of the Spartans. This is pretty typical of Spartans, trying to make a last stand all the time, rather than just winning. Oh yeah, get some of that sweet Rome 2 spear to the neck action. Look at these guys doing exactly what Spartans are best at, running away. I mean, standing their ground to the death. To the death. Not quite. Not quite. It would have been cool, though, to see, like, Royal Spartans and Heroes of Sparta be unbreakable. How cool would that have been? Go back and tweak some of these things in Rome 2. Anyway, there you go. It's a costly victory for the Nervii, but it was a good victory, so well played by both players. That was a fun match, like fun factions, fun match. Definitely enjoyed this one. Look at those Germanic Scout Riders, though. Woo! Talk about effective. And then the Fierce Swords, both of them, picking up a chevron and quite a few kills. Look at that, though. Spear Brothers picking up a nice number of kills. It was well done. This one Spartan hot potatoed well. I don't know what it got a hold of, but Heroes of Sparta both picked up a decent number of kills. The Royal Spartan was up against Oathsworn most of the time, so picking up 78 Oathsworn and a Chevron, that's not too bad, but the Oathsworn for the Nervii definitely held out. Nice game by TWR James and VM, yeah, however you say this. But good game to both of them. I enjoyed it. You know what one of the good things about Rome 2 is also? You can actually see the kill count on the end. Like it actually says the kill. Bring it back, CA. Bring it back. Hope y'all enjoyed some Rome 2 action. HeirofCarthage signing out. I will see you all back in the battlefields of Rome 2 soon.